Hey guys, and welcome back to Left on Red with your host, Sierra Claire. It's me. I'm really excited for today's episode. Today is a bonus episode, and it's our first bonus episode of the entire podcast. So I would love to do more of these eventually, but this is a good bonus episode, okay? So today we're talking about my first date with the guy I met while going speed dating. So if you haven't listened to episode 7, speed dating at 25, that gives more context to what I'm going to be talking about today. So listen to that episode. It's a really good one. But today we're going to be talking about we're going to get all into the details, okay? Why did I give him my number? I'm going to set the scene for you guys, what he looked like, what I wore, where we went, how was the date, and is there going to be a second date? So get comfy. It's a good bonus episode, okay? So let's get into the details. Now, like I said in episode 7, I chatted with about like 17, maybe 18 guys speed dating. And again, for the most part, they were all really nice, respectful. It was like all good vibes, good energy. But this guy, we, I, I don't know why. And mind you, you only get like 5 minutes, but we just like hit it off really well. And we are just like chatting. And I think I made a joke and I was like, "You're giving me Leo vibes. Like, I feel like you're a Leo." And he started laughing. He was like, "No, I'm a Cancer." And I was like, "Oh, I'm a Scorpio." And he was like, "Oh, does that mean we're a good match?" And I was like, "It's supposed to be." And he was like, "All right, well, like, let's just leave now and go." And it was just funny. Like, it was just funny vibes. So we just were hitting it off. We're chatting it up. And then the timer goes off and they're like, "Okay, all the guys need to like rotate." And he was like, "I would really love to talk to you after." And I was like, "Okay, we'll see." So the event goes on and then it's, time to go. I'm like, saying goodbye to the guy I was chatting with. I filled out like the exit survey. And right when I was about to leave, I was out in the patio at the bar. And then when I left the patio, he was he was like at a table talking to somebody, still talking to one of the girls. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'm gonna just like get my coat. I'm gonna head out. And I promise you guys, I literally get my leather jacket off the rack. I turn around and I was by the bar and he was like, "Hey, I wanted to catch you before you go." And he was like, "I would love to get your number. And we can like, chat it up." So I was like, "Okay, sure." Like, here's my number. So the next day he texted me like in the afternoon and he was like, again, really respectful. Like, "It was nice to, like meeting you. I'd love to chat more." And I was like, "Same." And he was like, "Okay, great. Let's like set a date." And this was like he was very efficient in date setting. Like, I don't know about you guys, but like, does it ever feel like you have to pull teeth with a guy to like get a date or to like plan a date, like where to go, the time? Like, it was not like that. It was very easy. He was like, "I know this great restaurant in Brooklyn, and I'm gonna tell you guys about that." But it was like this restaurant. We picked a time. We picked on Thursday, and that was it. Very simple, very efficient. So that's a bit of the background. Now let's set the scene, okay? What does he look like? So he's white. He's 29. He's about 5'6" or 5'7", which is actually a great height for me because I'm 5 foot, really 4'11". So that's actually great. He has a beard, he's bald, and he's from Massachusetts, not Boston. He said he's not from Boston, but he's from Mass. So that was interesting. And he also told me that his mom's side of his family is from Carriacou, which is like this Caribbean island that was colonized by the Dutch. But so he's like had like a little bit of Caribbean in him, kind of, sort of, but for the most part, he's white. And I was just like, okay, very interesting. But that's pretty much my type. So now, what I was wearing for the day, I actually posted what I wore on the podcast on Instagram on stories. But if you missed it, I just wore like just some pants, some Converse, but like the platform, and a white bodycon tank top with some jeans. I kept it like really simple but really cute. And that was nice. So we went to this restaurant that he picked. It called Negril BK, and it's a Caribbean restaurant. So he already got +2 points because I'm from the Caribbean. That's literally obviously, like, that's all I eat. That's all I know. But I was like, okay, +2 points for the culture, even though he's like, 20% Caribbean, I guess, but still +2 for the culture. And the food was amazing. So I'm going to get into that. All right. All right, so we have the scene kind of set, okay? That's what he looks like. Also, I guess for what he looks like as well, he's kind of like beefy. He's a bit like husky. Again, all my type. So I was like, check, 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 check. So we have the scene set. So that's what he looks like. That's what I was wearing. We go to this nice Caribbean restaurant. Look it up, Negril BK. It was so good. So now the actual date itself. So I told him let's do 7:30 because I just figured I would be late. I don't know. But I was like, okay, let's do 7:30. Turns out, by surprise, I was actually very much on, not even on time. I was early. So I'm like walking around Park Slope in Brooklyn because I'm like, I'm trying to kill time. And then it's like around like 7:20-ish. I texted him and I was like, hey, I'm like a block away. I'm gonna like I'll be at the restaurant soon. And he was like, okay, like I'll be there like exactly at 7:30. So I was like, So I kind of was, deduction of a point at first because I just thought he would have been there already, even though I said 7:30. But it honestly was not a big deal because I went in, I got a table for us, and he did arrive right at 7:30. And he was so apologetic. He was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry you had to wait." And we were just like making a joke about it. And it was really funny. And he knows about the podcast. And I think he said, he was like, oh my God. He was like, I'm so sorry. He's like, don't talk about me so bad on the podcast. Like, it was really funny, but it was all good. And so we joked about it. We get our drinks, we get everything. And he again, super sweet, like gentleman. He complimented me. It was just a good time. So he suggested that we get an appetizer. All right. So we ordered pepper shrimp on tostones, which is amazing. And then we got the lamb meatballs, and then we both got a cocktail. And we were just chatting it up, guys. Like it just felt super. I don't want to be like, oh, like the banter was so good at that. Because it wasn't even like banter. It was just like somebody like easy to talk to. And I think that's it. Like I think naturally, because obviously I podcast, but I think I'm a good like listener and conversationalist, and I have good questions. And I think he's the same. And so we were asking each other like very like, it was like direct questions, but it just flowed easily. It was light and it was funny, and we just were like chatting it up. Okay. So the whole date lasted 3 hours, and we just made jokes, and it was funny. And like to me, I had no awkward silence. Like everything just pretty much like flowed. Okay. So after appetizers, he got the jerk salmon with rice and peas, and then I got an island pasta. And we're going to take a minute to appreciate the restaurant. Negril BK, not only was the food was delicious, the service was spectacular. Okay, we had a waiter named Rob. Shout out to Rob, who I doubt will ever hear this episode. He was so nice. He was so good. He just was like the best. And it was great. So the service was good. The food was amazing. So we're eating the food. We're just having a good time. And like in between our conversation, he literally said, he was like, you ask such great questions. And he was like, I haven't been on a date in a long time where somebody's actually asked me really good questions. And I like wanted to just keep the conversation going. And I was like, well, this is just me. And it was just funny. Like we just were having a cool time. Okay. We're having a cool time. So the conversation is flowing, drinks are flowing, we're eating, everything is good. And at this point, we're done, obviously, with the entrees and everything. And the waiter comes back and asks, like, hey, do you guys want dessert? And I looked at him and he was like, do you want dessert? And I was like, do you want dessert? And the waiter was like, I think you guys want dessert. And I was like, and he was like, I really like the banana bread pudding muffin crumble that has like caramel glaze, and it comes with a scoop of vanilla ice cream. That's what the waiter is telling us. He's like, that's the best dessert. And so the guy I'm out with, he's like, all right, let's just do it. And guys, now the banana bread muffin with it was so good. It had rum in it, and so did the ice cream, which we did not know, but it was so good. We were just enjoying it. And the waiter comes back and gave us a second scoop on the house, and it was just amazing. So we're just eating our dessert. We're like just sharing it in the middle of the table again, like still like chatting, just chopping it up, laughing. Like it was just really fun, chill vibes. The food from beginning to end was great. The drinks were great. The service was great. And I will say, like, my date was pretty good. Like it was great. So like nothing to complain about there. And as the date's winding down, of course he pays because, guys should always pay on the first date. But yeah, he paid with no issue. And we've left and we were both on the same train. But he got off at the stop before I got off at. So we like walked to the train together and again, still like talking, chatting it up. And while we were on the train, he was like, we were actually chatting about the new Tiana Taylor movie, and I wish I remember the name of the movie, but he was telling me like how he saw it, etc. And I was like, oh, like that sounds really good. And he was like, well, I would love to see you again. Do you want to go like see a movie? And as like the second date. And I said, yeah. I said, yes, I will. So what's next? The next day we like texted briefly and then he called me. And I'm a on the phone type of person or face. Like any of my friends know that. Like I'm a FaceTime. Like when I chat with you guys, like we're all friends. Like feels like we're on the phone, we're on FaceTime. But like when you just meet someone, like that awkward moment, like you just rather text or just be on the phone. Like we literally texted very briefly and he called me and we just chatted it up for like 45 minutes again. And we like solidified the plans to go on a date for Tuesday. So we're going to go see the new Air movie, which is about Nike and Michael Jordan and how like Jordans came to life, etc., which I heard it was a really good movie. And that is it for now. So I don't, there may be an update. I will give you guys an update. I don't know if I'm going to get left on red, like the name of the show. I don't know if it'll be another like good update to give you guys, but I will give you guys an update in an actual episode. I won't do like another bonus one, but this is the bonus because I was not expecting to get a date off of speed dating. Honestly, I just wanted to go try it out and report back to you guys of just something new to do in your mid-20s if you're single, if you're in the city, and it turned into a nice date. So that's why I had to give you guys a bonus episode, but I will give an update eventually in an actual episode. And we'll see if anything like progressives. But like I said, he also knows about the podcast. And it's funny because he seemed like really supportive of it. And it was not awkward because I know some people feel awkward, like, oh, you have a podcast where you talk about dating, are you going to talk about me? Like, and make it about themselves. It was honestly not like that. So he just seemed like really supportive and was just like, he thought it was pretty, like, really cool and nothing but like positive vibes. So I don't think he'll listen. He may, but we'll see. So yeah, I'll let you guys know if there's any updates and if there's a date on Tuesday, you guys will be the first to know, honestly. So thank you guys for being a part of this like journey, and we'll see where this leads us. But I'll see you guys in the next episode. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave a review. See you guys later. Bye.